Huh. Good afternoon to all of you. For this first live session for the course Accreditation and Outcome Based Education. So, first of all, I will clear, as I posted that I will clear the questions which I received in the forum, and then I go for that other questions. Yes. For this first live session for the course Accreditation and Outcome Based Education. So, first of all, I will clear, as I posted that I will clear the questions which I received in the forum, and then I go for that other questions. Yes. Okay, so let's start with that because so question number 1 which I received, that there is a doubt in option C for Q3 in assignment 3. So, all the assignment related questions I will be clear, because if there is a mistake in the questions, it will be re-evaluated from the NPTEL Madras end. So, the question related to the confusion in assessment that I will clear by we consultation with Madras, and all the marks will be normalized. There may be some new somebody not get the marks. I will talk to the Madras people and they will be clear the marks, I think, this assessment questions. So, this live session only for the clearing the doubt which you have in your mind. First is the doubt is that whether the course outcome ought to be the frame unit wise or not. If you see in my explanation, in case of unit means lecture. When I say the course outcome, it is not unit wise. Course outcome is the at the end of the course, what are the major takeaway by the students. So, that means it may be interlinked with different unit, different module, does not matter, but it should reflect the major takeaway by the students from the course. So, it is not the unit wise or module wise, it is the major takeaway of the course at the end of the course, what students the skill will be developed. So, it may be module wise, does not matter, but I will recommend please make the course outcome much more general, or I can say the combine 2 or 3 module together and make a major outcome. So, like that when you learn driving, what is the course outcome? At the end of the driving program, you will be able to drive the car on the road. It is not that define steering, define clutch, what is pause steering, what is clutch, what is the signal for left, right turn, not like that. The end is you should able to drive the car on a city road condition. So, that is the major takeaway from the training program. Similarly, at the end of the course, what is the major takeaway by the students? That is course outcome. Clear? Next question is, can module outcome become course outcome? Yes, possible. Suppose I have a very important module which is an 8th lecture, can be a course outcome, not the issue. But I will recommend try to merge 1 or 2 module and make a course outcome. Then there is another question, sir, if this software based MCQ examination and teacher are uploading 100 questions from the every students get random questions, then how can we calculate the facilitation value and discrimination index? Where it does not depends on the assessment procedure. So, when you calculate the facilitation value and discriminating index, it does not depends on the procedure of assessment. It depends on what is your questions and how many people respond to that questions and what they get. That means some question number 1 will be answered by all 100 students. It may be some students answer as a question number 1 and the same question will some student will answer as a question number 5. But question ID does not matter. So, the question when you say the question, they calculate the value of 2 to the power 3, that is the questions. Whether it is question number 1 or question number 5 or question number 6, does not matter. You pull them together and make a, this is the questions, and that questions answered by so many students. Then you calculate the facilitation value and discriminating index. So, you randomly assign the question number, then you cannot say the question number 1, you have to say these questions. So, that is important. I cannot say question number 1, because question ID is different for different student. Same questions is come in different ID, but I should analyze the FB and discrimination for the questions, not the question ID. Clear? Then there is another question. I have, the question is, the class test marks are not considered in the final grading. Students have tendency to ignore class test. What is remedy? Yes. You said the problem is today we think that we study only for marks. Every student think that we study only for marks. If I get the marks without study, I am happy. I have to change that system. I am saying the purpose for assessment, when I say for when I giving the marks, to find out the learner competence, and based on the competence I will provide the marks. And the purpose for class test, I said, it is a periodic assessment to find out the student misconception and provide remedial lessons. Sorry, I have a cold. So, that means it does not mean that every time I have to provide the marks. Sorry. So, as a teacher you have to communicate with the students very clearly that this is my intention. If you study for marks, then I do not think that that study is required for the society. There are 3 action verbs: select, describe, list. So, the cognitive level is knowledge, but describe is also an evaluation. Yes, possible. This is possible, and if you search in Google my name, I have a paper on cognitive verb, the analysis of the action verbs on cognitive domains. I say the same action verbs can point out to different cognitive domain. But when? The question is based on the condition component and criteria component. So, if the condition component, criteria component together with action verbs can perfectly define the cognitive level of that outcome. But for simplicity, I can write, because as a teacher I can, if I say I do not use describe for evaluation level, I can do that. So, in the software we have only considered the teacher, because I cannot check the condition component and criteria component, because that requires the domain knowledge. So, how the computer will understand the domain knowledge is very difficult, but yes, we can integrate an AI and find out that also, but that is a research problem. But I am saying presently what we have included in the software is that we think the teacher will write the condition component, criteria component such a way that describe action verbs only meaning to the knowledge or comprehension level, not the evaluation level. So, like that, yes, it is possible. Same action verbs can be used for the different cognitive level depending on the condition component and criteria component. That is why when I read the outcome, it is very clear that what is the cognitive level of that outcome. Clear? Then there is another questions, the difference between the instructional objective and instructional outcome. Again I am saying, all of you which are the we are filling the NBA document or NBA whatever you are filling, they have 2 definitions. One is called course objective, another is called course outcome. Here, as per the NBA document, whatever you have get, Course objective means teacher's goal. Course outcome means student's goal. So, course objective means what the teacher will intended to teach, but the course outcome is what the learner have to learn. We are interested about outcome only. Okay. Now, come to the instructional domain. So, everything is objective. Objective is nothing but a target. So, if it is written using instructional system design, ISD principle, then it is called instructional objective. Instructional objective same as instructional outcome. But as per the NBA definition, that I am saying, their course objective means the goal of the teachers, course outcome means the goal of the students. But if you go for the theoretical definition, instructional objective means outcome or instructional outcome. That means, if an objective is written using ISD principle, it has become instructional objective, which is nothing but a outcome of that course or instruction. Clear? Next is, please explain or example why we cannot use term like understand. Yes, I said the understand is not measurable verbs. What is action verbs definition? The English verbs which are measurable, but understand I said it is not measurable. So, there is a, I am not going to the deeper concept, there is a covert and overt. So, I am not going to deeper on that, but why understand is not measurable? Suppose you said the student will understand Newton's second law of motion. How can I measure? You may say, okay, I will ask them calculate the V equal to mf like that, I understand. So, it is indirect measurement, not direct measurement. So, that is why I said instead of understand, I can write down the calculate the value of force or calculate the value of mass for a given force and acceleration, or I can say for the given the force, mass and acceleration, students can calculate each of the parameter for the given other parameter. Instead of they will understand Newton's second law of motion. So, understand means that some student may say, sir, I understand the definition part only. Some students say, yes sir, I understand the definition and also the how to calculate the force. So, which one is correct? Both are correct. So, that is why understand is not directly measurable. That is why we said understand is not an action verbs. Clear? Question number 8. Again, the assessment related issue, again I am saying that I will take care indifferently. Then 9. In the first question, describe is applicable for both knowledge level and evaluation level, but how? Again I am saying I have already described that questions, that kind of confusion. Dear sir, can we get a reference document to understand concept of COPO mapping in details? I am sorry that I do not find out any book on COPO mapping like that, but we are writing that book, it is not yet finalized. So, once the document is over, I can share that PDF to all of you if the book is completed. How will you calculate my assessment marks if it did not submitted or attend one assessment? What is the impact? Yes. So, what is assessment? Assessment is a procedure for collect evidence about learner competence. If the learner is not present, how do I collect the evidence? So, suppose I am taking the assessment for evaluation, that means based on the assessment I will provide the or I can certify the competence of the learner, then I have to collect the evidence. Whether I collect in time bounded proctored exam or lab exam, whether I take the exam separately, does not matter, but I have to collect the evidence. Unless you get the evidence, somebody said, no, pass the students or let the pass the students, it does not help the students. teacher is like a mirror. You have to show the mirror to the students that you have that skill. You have to acquire that skill. Unless you acquire, you will have a trouble. So that much you expect, that much of things we expect from the teachers. You should put the mirror on the front of the students. So that is the purpose for assessment. Then limitation, intimation of discrepancy in question number, again marks related question I will answer differently. Discrepancy in the evaluation of the week number 1, again I am saying I personally take care about it. I will talk to the madras and solve that, whatever the assessment related issues are there, we will clear it. Then question number, there is a last question, how are learning outcome differ from learning goal or learning objective? Again I am saying the learning goal, learning objective as per the NBA document, it is the teacher's goal, learning outcome is the student's goal. But if you follow the ISD principle, instructional system design principle for writing the objective, that is called instructional objective, which is nothing but an outcome. Clear? Okay. Now I come to here, that is there a, if you have a questions, then I have see the questions. So can we post a self-recorded video in course overview? Yes, you can post, doesn't matter. Whether it is visual or whether it is textual, it is an information. So I will prefer both, visual and textual both, so that the students who want the audio, you can audio. If they want to only text, text, doesn't matter. Is there any project to be submitted? I receive an email about DTI. No. There is no project, I think so. The earlier there is a project, but we have removed it due to the some constraint or some to handling of that all kind of students. This time there is no project, so all the assignment will be there. Action verb is more than one cognitive level make difficult to find cognitive level of CO. No. When you read the CO along with your condition component and criteria component, the action verbs link or action verbs indicated only one cognitive level. Although same action verbs can be mapped in different cognitive level, but if your outcome contain the condition component and criteria component, it definitely indicate only one cognitive level. So if you do not write down the condition component and criteria component, then your outcome is not measurable and achievable, or your outcome is not specific and achievable. That is why you are not able to finding out the cognitive level. Again I am saying, the software I have select the action verbs with particular cognitive level, assuming the teacher will able to write down the outcome, and based on the condition component, criteria component and action verbs, it will indicate only one cognitive level. So it is not correct that I cannot write a action verbs and that indicate many cognitive level. So how do I understand the cognitive level? No, action verbs cannot 100% indicate the cognitive level. Action verbs along with performance component and criteria component will indicate the cognitive level. For example, if you write evaluate matrix A and B, it is not evaluate, it is simple calculate. So these evaluate action verbs, if you write this is my outcome, so I have used the evaluate action verbs wrongly. So you have to think on it and use the proper action verbs in proper position. How are learning outcome differ from learning goal? Again I have explained, I am from art science background, so NBA guideline can help, or are any other such guideline? No. NBA guideline, NBA is nothing but a part of Washington Accords. What is the purpose? This NBA is accreditation procedure. What is the purpose for accreditation? Objectively measure the quality of the program. So how do I measure? They have defined 12 dimension. Based on that 12 dimension, they measure the quality of the program. So, whether it is NBA, Washington Accords, whether it is earth science, whether it is engineering, whether it is physics, does not matter. As far as it is after 10 plus 2 4-year or more than 4-year degree program. Clear? Geography subject does not matter. So, maybe the example is given, the student will be able to analyze complex engineering problem. So, instead of engineering problem, you can say geographical problem. But analyzing ability is important after 10 plus 2 4-year or more than 4-year degree program. So, instead of engineering, I put geographical. What is the problem? So, it is applicable to all discipline. So, it is nothing but a dimension. The skill, you may say out of 12 skill, maybe 2-3 skill are not applicable for geography students. That you can change. Let us say finance, project management is important for geography student also. Environment and sustainability also important, communication skill important. So, you can find out which of the skill are not that important or not important for the particular program, that you can drop. Can you use ID portal? Okay, in this course we can talking about the NAC accreditation or other. NAC, NBA all are same. The purpose is to define the parameter to measure the quality of the program. NAC, NBA, it does not mean that the institute, how many libraries are there, how many professor is there, how many experts are there, not like that. It that whether the outgoing students acquire the desired skill or not. So, directly we cannot measure it, that is why we see for how many chairs are there, how many students are there, how many library are there, but that does not mean that it will improve the quality of the program. So, indirectly we measure like that way, but that is not the procedure. Procedure is that I have a set of parameter, whether the pass out students acquire those parameters or not, which is called attainment of PO by the pass out students. Yes, you can use IDE portal, it is free and accessible to everybody. Yes, you can use it does not restricted anybody. So, it sometime if you put very large file, it only crash, nothing else. So, you can use the portal, does not matter. Okay. Anybody else has any questions? In the course, I have talked about the you can say the Washington Accords. So, NBA is part of Washington Accords only. NAC is also ABET, Washington Accords, all are the procedure for measuring the quality of the education. So, it is nothing but the define the parameter with respect you measure the quality of the education. You are welcome. If you want to come IIT, you are welcome to come here. I will be here. So, if I have a time, I can meet with you also, no issue. Okay. So, since today my health is not that well, I am not spending time more. So, today I will stop here, but next live session I will discuss about the final question paper, what kind of question paper. Again I am saying that I am not fan of that how much marks you get, I am fan of that what you can do after this course. So, I am not getting that okay you either you get a gold certificate, whether you get a silver certificate, I does not believe on it. I only believe what skill you acquired at the end of the course. but I try to make the question paper such a way that at least your skill is tested, not that only remembering facts and figure. So, sir, ED formula in this denominator, what will have to take of lower achiever group size of sum of the both group size or sum of both group size, max value should be 0.5 or 1. Effectiveness of the discriminator. So, what will be the denominator? When so suppose you are designing MCQ questions, you have given a choice. What is meaning? Meaning is that based on the misconception related to that choice, the students who has a less concept will be distracted. So, that means the lower group students will be distracted more towards that option. So, if they are distracted more towards that option, that means that option effectiveness as a distractor will increasing. So, ED value, minimum value may be 0. Let us say you design a question paper where there is a choice D, which is a wrong choice, but nobody choose that. That means the effectiveness of the distractor of the option D is 0. When it is 1? When all the lower group student choose that D. No upper group student choose that D. So, the effectiveness will be decreased if any good student also distracted. So, that means I do not want none of the good student will be distracted, only lower group will be distracted. So, that is why number of lower group student choose that option minus number of upper group student choose that option divided by the lower group size only. So, the maximum value when the upper group no student chooses, all the lower group student chooses. So, that number divided by the group size is equal to 1. If none of the students choose that option, ED value equal to 0. Clear? Okay. So, I will stop here. Okay. Thank you.